Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone we have joining here today. My name is Sarah Trail, and I'm one of the enrollment representatives here at Coursera. Thank you so much for joining our Bachelor's Completion webinar today. I'll give people just a couple of seconds to get settled in, and then we'll get started. Today, we will be talking about the benefits of higher education, the value of completing your bachelor's degree, and how you can take the first step to simplifying your academic experience with online degrees from top universities on Coursera. Later, we'll be joined by three speakers on behalf of our university partners, Illinois Institute of Technology, the University of North Texas, and Georgetown University. These three university leaders will participate in a fireside chat hosted by Coursera's own Chief Content Officer, Marni Baker Stein. For now, we'll get started with some housekeeping items. As a reminder, this session will be recorded and sent out afterwards. Throughout this session, you may also submit questions through the Q&A feature as the chat feature will be turned off. We will do our best to answer your questions throughout and also have a formal panel with our keynote speakers at the end of the presentation. Please note, if you're asking a question about a specific program, please include that in your question so that we can better help provide an answer. To quickly go through our agenda for today, we will start off with some background about bachelor's degrees and a bit of information about why it can be so common to start but not finish them. Then we'll discuss online degrees and hear from our esteemed panel. Finally, we'll wrap up with university spotlights and tips for what to do if you're not ready for a degree. Before we jump in, we have a quick survey. Are you considering a degree? I'll give you a couple seconds to respond. One more quick one. Do you currently have some amount of credits towards a bachelor's degree? Let us know. Oh, great. Look, it looks like 74% say yes, they have some credits. That's wonderful. Last one. If you answered yes to the previous question, what, if anything, is stopping you from taking the leap and finishing your degree? Oh, wow. That's so telling and it's so common. Looks like cost is a top consideration. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let's get started. What is the value of a bachelor's degree and why does it matter? For starters, the earnings potential for bachelor's degree holders is statistically much greater than those with only a high school diploma. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, bachelor's degree holders can earn 75% more and have an average weekly income of $1,432. To add some more context, over their lifetimes, bachelor's degree holders earn $1.2 million more than those with only a high school diploma. This makes sense since more than 80% of jobs in high growth sectors require a bachelor's degree or higher. Finally, beyond earnings comes career growth. Today's session is all about completing your bachelor's degree. So, why should you do it? Among students who return to complete their degree, 77% say it helped them advance their career within just 2 years. So, if you're looking to earn more and progress in your career, maybe you should consider completing that credential. However, we know that starting a degree can be challenging. And as we saw from our poll earlier, finishing a degree can be just as hard. So, why don't people tend to finish their bachelor's degrees? According to a 2024 NASFAA report, 85% of adults who either dropped out or never enrolled in higher education program said an important reason why they weren't currently enrolled is because of the cost of the degree or credential program. To take it a step further, our internal research has led us to discover that both cost and time commitment are two of the top barriers for our learners when considering a degree program. Does this sound familiar? Fortunately, the degrees we will be discussing today are all 100% online, allowing for maximum flexibility. Also, in many cases, these degrees are more affordable than similar in-person bachelor's programs, and even sometimes offer credit for prior learning. For more information about credit for prior learning and how you might be able to save on tuition, click the link in the chat. So, here's why online degrees matter. Okay, how many times have you heard this from friends, family, coworkers? How about yourself? How about this one? The reality is everyone is busy. It's important to focus on what you want to be busy with and what is truly worth your time. In a world of busy, online degrees are best known for their flexibility and affordability. Financial aid and pay-as-you-go tuition and asynchronous curriculums are just a few of the elements of an online degree that make it so appealing for the busy adult. Working professionals are actually the majority of online learners. Plus, time management is a top skill that we hear our learners develop during their time as an online degree earner. As a quick call out, over 60% of online learners work full time, and another 16% work part time. There are plenty of employed adults out there getting their degrees, so why not you? As we saw on the last slide, online degrees are increasingly more accepted by employers, especially post pandemic. In fact, in a study done by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 87.4% of employers hired new graduates with an online degree in 2024. To top that off, 100% of those employers paid online degree hires the same starting salary as traditional graduates, meaning as an online degree student, it's not only more and more common to find employment post grad, but in terms of pay parity, you will more than likely be compensated the same as a traditional in person graduate. Not too shabby. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the first portion of our event today. I'd now like to transition into our fireside chat featuring Coursera's own Chief Content Officer, Marni Baker Stein. We are also joined by Stephanie Myers from UNT, Dr. Norma Scagnoli from Illinois Tech, and Georgetown's Samantha Hinckley. All of these university leaders have decades of experience in the higher education space and will be sharing some of their expertise with you all today. Before we get started, perhaps each of you can share a quick note about yourselves and a few words on why you've dedicated your careers to higher education. Perhaps Marni can kick us off.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm super glad to be here today talking with all of you and with our amazing panel. I'm the Chief Content Officer at Coursera, but I have spent the better part of my career working on the design and development and the operations of online degree programs that are designed specifically for adult working professionals who have some college and no degree. I fell in love with this mission long ago, and I know how difficult a decision it is for folks who are deciding to go back to school. And I also know the value of that decision when it's taken and when you get that degree. So I'm super excited to be talking to you about this today, as well as with our incredible panel. And I guess I'll pass it on to Stephanie Myers from the University of North Texas.
All right. Hello. Um, so great to join you all today. So as I said, Stephanie Myers from UNT in Denton, Texas. And I have been in higher education for over 10 years now. I first started in academic advising, and I actually advised our BAAS degree, which we have in partnership with Coursera. And that one is for non-traditional students, a completion degree, and loved working in advising. It was great. And then I pivoted within the university to work for our online division. So that's what I'm doing now. And I truly believe education changes lives. And so that's why I work in higher education, and I see it every day with our students who are graduating. So I always like to help that process in any way I can. Glad to be here. And then I'll pass it along to Norma.
Hi, very nice to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Coursera. I'm so excited to be sharing our perspective with all this, with the panel and all the people that have joined today. My name is Norma Scagnoli. I work for Illinois Tech, Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago. I spent big part of my life working in online learning, and I dedicated my life to my career to higher education because for me, it's access is the most important thing that we can give anyone, access to education. I am first generation to go to school, to get a higher education degree in my family. My maternal grandfather and my paternal grandmother were illiterate. And for them, education was so important. It was a privilege that they couldn't access to. And so my parents got those values, and of course they did their best so that my brothers and I could get a college education. And I moved on to get a doctorate in education and in human resource development because I value adult learning. I think that when you become an adult, you start, no matter what age that is, you start valuing things that probably you didn't pay so much importance when you had it for granted, and education is one of them. So I think that's the case of some of you that may be here today that want to complete your bachelor's. You probably had the opportunity, but couldn't complete, or sometimes you didn't think it was that important, and now you're willing to give that next step, and we're here to help. I will pass it on to Samantha.
Thank you very much. My name is Samantha Hinckley, and I'm the Assistant Dean of the Liberal Studies Portfolio at Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies. We are incredibly proud to host the Bachelor's Completion Program for Georgetown, which currently hosts about 400 online learners. And even though some people may consider it the non-traditional student, we believe that online learning is today's norm. And even in the past, before Georgetown, I've been in the museum education and nonprofit realms for over a decade. So I have lots of experience working with students and educators alike in many different realms. And finally, even though I'm here to share in this wonderful conversation with all of you about Georgetown University, I'm also an online learner myself. So I know all the benefits, challenges, and as was shared before, the value that comes with an online degree. So thank you very much for having me. And I look forward to this conversation.
Awesome. So welcome everybody. Let's springboard off of that value comment that we keep hearing again and again. For the folks in our audience who may be considering a degree, we saw the slides. Obviously, there's a lot of data that suggests that a degree is still really critical for building a career and sort of building economic mobility. But why, from your perspectives, is a degree more vital than ever in today's world? And what's really at stake for adult working professionals who don't get one? So let's start with Samantha, and then we'll just extend the conversation. Please feel free to jump in.
You, Barney. And I love this question because I don't think there's one right answer. It's very individualized, and it depends on the student's individual needs. In our program, we have students who join us for personal, academic, or professional reasons. We talked a little bit about career growth before, but Georgetown really fosters like personal growth and critical thinking as well. And it's intertwined throughout our interdisciplinary curriculum. And I think with the ever shifting landscape in education today, as well as all the information that Sarah was talking about before, it's really important for students to consider what their goals are. And so I'm happy to answer that question on my own, but I also think for our listeners today, it's really important for you to consider what your goals are for a bachelor's program, because maybe there's many of them, and there's no better time to start than when it's best for you.
That's right. That's right. And Stephanie, Norma, like what are you seeing here in terms of the value of a degree, and how is that value sort of landing with adult learners who are juggling all the things, life, work, caretaking, etc.?
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. Well, I definitely see, adult learners coming back to school in our BAAS program that they're doing this on their dime, on their time, not like the a lot of the younger students that come in, into college. And so it is immense investment for them, the time you're putting in, the money you're putting in. And a lot of our students, they are looking for upward mobility in their careers. We work very closely with corporate education partners, and the degree is still the standard. It is still what they want to see from their employees. And good news is too is a lot of our students gain confidence within our program, coming back to school after so many years. And we actually have a large amount of people who go on for their masters after. And then that again still provides more mobility in careers once you have that.
Yeah, I agree with both what Stephanie and Samantha have said, and I want to add that why students want to get a bachelor's, probably, as you saw, huge amount of the students that come to a bachelor's degree have a job already. So why bother? Well, having a bachelor's degree will certainly enhance your job's opportunity, and also your higher earning potential. Having a bachelor's for many of you is something that is in your bucket list. You really want to get there. And so because of your personal or intellectual growth, it's your own, opportunity to even show others, probably your kids or your family, that education matters. And at Illinois Tech, we have been recognized as an opportunity college and university by the American Council of Education at the Carnegie Foundation. That means that our institution reflects that commitment to learners, and we have a huge amount of our graduates who get jobs, and very well paid jobs, which means we're among the 10 institutions recognized in Illinois as an opportunity for learners. So everything we do or try to do is to get our students not only through their education and the theory, but also through practice with connections in the industry, and giving them opportunities for not just doing internships, but also taking classes that will allow you to connect your experience at work or the experience that you would like to have. So in some, for me, people want to get a bachelor's or complete their bachelor's because that is pending in their list of things to do, and it's going to give you better job opportunities and a higher earning potential overall.
So, Norma, one of the things that you said that sort of really caught my attention is that, like, returning students bring a lot of work and lived experience to the classroom, right? They're not, like, my kids are freshmen in college this year. They're not really bringing a lot of lived experience to the classroom. They think they are, but they really are not. But a lot of adults are coming in with just a ton of career experience, work experience, and they're really looking to bust through that paper ceiling of the degree to take the next step in their careers. How are y'all sort of building that lived experience into your courses? And how is the learning experience that you're offering sort of different than that traditional coming of age experience for 18-year-olds in the way that you've designed it for these particular learners?
Different courses have different approaches depending on the topic of the courses in the program, but overall, the whole program requires the students to complete what are called iPros, which these industry professional courses opportunities for the learners to work with an instructor or an expert to solve problems in the industry related to the classes, relating to the discipline. And so these iPros are project-based courses. There's no new theory being learned. It's all application. And students get the chance to work in groups and to solve a problem, bringing not only what they have learned in their jobs or in their lives, but also what they have learned in classes. And these projects, it is a requirement that they have to complete 6 credits of iPros, meaning 2 classes, and those 2 classes are very practical. And they have to present a project. Sometimes those projects become proposals for the industry. Some of our students on campus, this is exactly the same that campus students do. And some of our students on campus have presented those projects to investors. And they have become, startups. So that is a great way for us to, if in the online world, to bring that experience that they have at work or in their lives and combine that with what they're doing in the classroom. With the on-campus students, they start, in most cases, their lives, their careers after college. Our online learners, they have already started. So the experience that they bring to work in these iPros is amazing. All the instructors are very impressed by the quality of our learners in our bachelor's degree.
And Samantha and Stephanie, how have you been building in this sort of lived experience of learners into your curriculum? Can you give us a flavor of how that works in the programs at Georgetown and the University of North Texas?
Yeah. I'll go ahead. So we do also have the Career Academy in partnership with Coursera. And so we do some credit for prior learning. And so those are certificates that are offered, and they can come in as credit towards the BWS degree that we have. So that's one way to recognize some of that experience outside of the traditional degree. We also, with that degree, experience-wise, for U.S. veterans, U.S. military, we accept their DD 214 as some credit, and then also we look at their joint service transcript as well to see what credit we can give for that. So there are different ways, yes, to use that experience that you already have towards the degree.
And I will echo what Stephanie and Norma said as well in terms of us looking into transfer credits. We consider ourselves very transfer credit friendly and look over joint services transcripts as well. And then in the virtual classroom even, and I apologize, every time I talk, my cat decides to interrupt. Even in the classroom as well, I've heard wonderful stories from students, whether it be a public policy course or a business course, where the professor has them conduct research in their local town halls or governments that interest them, so they can take experiential learning and have that really be observing and connecting with people at a local level. And the business course is very similarly. I've had students connect with local businesses, similar to what Norma was saying, that could potentially lead to career opportunities in the future, or just applying what they learn in the classroom to real world experiences. It is a very symbiotic thing where their own life and their lived experiences interact with the classroom and vice versa. So it's a wonderful thing to witness.
Oh my goodness,
You are muted.
I'm muted. Oh my God. So in my own experience, teaching undergraduates versus teaching courses online versus teaching courses with adult working professionals is the quality of the conversation that is had in sort of peer networking and discussion and projects, and the strength of the networking between those students, the students themselves. I mean, that's something that I think is incredibly special about these programs that are designed for adult working professionals, because it's not just the design of the program, it's the cohort. Can you talk a little bit about how you sort of inspire that cohort magic?
So we have like an online community that we've developed alongside of our degrees, and that has really helped for the students to talk to each other, to ask questions, to, like you said, network. And it's been awesome to see at graduation every year, we have students that are like, oh my gosh, like we're best friends. Like this is my best friend. We've talked to each other throughout the program this entire time, and we still follow each other years later. And it's just that sense of, yes, establishing some sort of community in an online program is super important. We also have ambassador programs in both our BAAS and BSGB that we created basically to get feedback from our students, but also so that they feel connected to each other. They feel like, advocates for the programs, and they feel supported and that sort of thing. So we've had a lot of success in that way. Making the students who are online in different areas of the US and the world feel like they're part of UNT.
Yeah, I love that. And I would just echo, I think some people are considering an online degree don't understand that camaraderie that you get. And in my own experience, we used to always comment on this when we would have graduation, when I was at Texas, when I was at other places. Um, the on-ground students, the face-to-face students often came in, were very quiet, didn't talk to each other, didn't really know each other. And the online students would come in and they were like hugging each other and like so excited to meet each other. And I've always like been really impressed by that, and just wanted to share that because if anybody thinks, oh, online learning, it's a lonely experience, it really isn't. It is as much or more a networked experience where you're meeting other people with similar interests as any place else you might get your degree.
Yeah,
Um,
and
Go
to add
ahead.
to that, Marnie, I think that because our students live in different worlds, that when things happen only at the surface of on campus, we all live lives that our careers, everything is intertwined between online and face to face. So for our online students, it's so much natural to connect, through their social media, and they bring to their classrooms that ability of communication online. No matter that you haven't met face to face, you become best friends by that connection online. Of course, that many things help, as Stephanie was saying, the connections between students. We are very new to this, different from UNT that has more experience and more years doing bachelor's completion. At Illinois Tech, we have not graduated our first bachelor's yet. We are on our way to do that, but we have seen how easy it is for them to communicate, to get together in Slack. Coursera allows our students to be using Slack for communication, and you can see how vivid those communications are, and how they get together to ask about something together as a group, as if they had known each other forever, and they probably live in different parts of the world. But the point that camaraderie, that collegiality, and that friendship grows even when they haven't met face to face. And so we're hoping that graduation is going to be the time when, as we brought 70% of the students that graduated from their masters to graduation in person this year, I hope that next year we bring the bachelors that have taken our program and are finishing. But I fully agree that camaraderie is unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. So, and this will be the last question I think we have time on. Thank you so much for your insights. I'm really enjoying talking to all of you. My last question is really, something that people might be thinking about. We hear a lot in the press, or I don't know, from our communities, from our families, that somehow online is other than, different than, maybe even less than an on-ground degree experience. And you each come from really incredible institutions with incredible backgrounds, incredible amount of trust in the degrees that you offer on ground. How do you see this gap? Is there a gap between the value of an online degree and an on-ground degree at your institution, and what are you doing to make sure that those are equal, that they're as valuable regardless of the modality?
So at UNT, they have to be equal. That is part of our instructional design consultants who create the courses. That is a requirement. It's, yes, they are different modalities, but the content and everything you're getting is the same as what you would get in person. So that is required. And when you graduate with your diploma, it doesn't say online. It doesn't say anything like that. It is a true UNT diploma, just like any other student if they took classes on campus. So it is true to the on-campus programs as well.
Mhm. Same at Illinois Tech. And also, for accreditation purposes, we need to make sure that the same academic rigor and outcomes that we have for on-campus programs are present in online programs. So the instructors are the same, the content is the same, the assessments and the way that the education is delivered is in a different mode. But essentially, the students online and on campus are Illinois Tech students.
I will mirror everyone as well, saying that our Georgetown online courses are just as rigorous and thought-provoking as the in-person ones by design. The curriculum's different, faculty or I'm sorry, the curriculum's the same, the faculty is the same. Really, the only difference is the modality, and I would argue that there is no gap in value. It's just a different learning experience. And
Mhm.
one of my favorite anecdotes that I like to share from my former life as a museum employee was when we moved to an online format during COVID-19. I was worried that some of the survivor testimonies wouldn't come across the same if they were retelling it over Zoom. And I actually had many scholars come up to me afterwards and say they actually appreciated it in a different light because they were in their own space where they could digest the very heart-wrenching, terrifying, sad stories that they were hearing on their own time, and didn't necessarily feel like if they were in a classroom, other people could witness them. They felt more comfortable on their own. And so I wouldn't say there's any gap. It's just a different learning experience, just like there are
Mhm.
different learning styles. So it truly is individual.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. Real quick lightning round, and then we're going to hand it back to Sarah. As you are thinking about these folks who are listening, the folks who are in your programs now, as graduates get to that finish line and they complete that degree, from each of your perspectives, what do you hope they're going to carry with them beyond the diploma? Like, what's the biggest gift that you hope they get from like spending their time on getting a degree at your institution? We'll start with Stephanie and come around just real quick.
That confidence, that's what we see all the time with our students is coming in, having that imposter syndrome of I can't do it, to that confidence that they gain. And I hope they take that into their careers and whatever else they do.
Same here. The confidence, an increased confidence in yourselves, a valuable life and practical skills that you have gained. It's not just about the content that you learn in the courses, but it is also a more refined, I would say, outlook and sense of purpose.
And I too will say a little bit of imposter phenomenon and the confidence that students gain from our program. We're very proud. We just hosted commencement last week with 30 online students from the bachelor's program, and our speaker posed to them, if there's ever a voice in the room that makes you question whether you belong there, maybe flip the question around and say, do I want that type of person in the room with me? And just making sure you believe in yourself. You have so much to offer. You just got to find the right path for you.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, confidence, it's the rocket fuel of your future. And I know that all of you work really, really hard at building that confidence as learners are getting the degrees at your institutions. Thank you for being with us here today. And I'm going to turn
Of
it back.
course.
Thanks, Marni. A big thank you to our panel from UNT, Georgetown, and Illinois Tech for that incredible discussion on bachelor's completion degrees. All three of these universities offer their 100% online bachelor's completion degrees on Coursera. Let's take a quick look. First up, here's a strong option for degree completion from Georgetown University. Their Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies is designed for adult learners who've already earned some college credit. It's 100% online, allows you to transfer up to 64 credit hours, and it doesn't require standardized test scores for admissions. At $412 per credit, it's an affordable way to finish your degree with the flexibility you need. You can choose from 5 concentrations like cybersecurity, business and entrepreneurship, or politics and international relations to match your interests and goals. If this sounds like an interesting degree that you'd like to learn more about, feel free to scan the QR code on the screen to book a one-on-one meeting with an enrollment representative. You can also click the link in the chat to explore the degree description page for this program. Next, we have the Bachelor of IT from Illinois Tech. The Bachelor of IT program is 100% online, accredited, and does not have a formal application. Through performance-based admissions, you can pave your way to enrollment through just 3 online courses. At only $273 per credit, it's no wonder Illinois Tech is frequently rated among the top in the US for best value schools. Additionally, as a recent update, Illinois Tech will soon be accepting federal financial aid. To learn more about this program, scan the QR code and book a meeting with an enrollment representative, or click the link in the chat. Finally, we have 2 degree completion programs from UNT. Each of these programs are 100% online and are ideal for adult learners who are interested in career changes with prior transferable credit. At UNT, 75% of undergraduate students receive some sort of financial aid, and payment plans are available for tuition charges. Scan the QR code to click or click the link in the chat to learn more about this program. Woo, sorry. Before we close out, we wanted to quickly highlight a few other online bachelor degrees available on Coursera. These options are great if you're just starting out, considering a different field, or exploring what's possible beyond degree completion pathways. We are so honored to be able to work with top universities on Coursera and want to share just a bit about the degrees we offer 100% online. First, let's take a look at 2 online business degrees from the University of London, both academically directed by Royal Holloway. Though these are not bachelor's completion degrees, these are strong online options for those looking to start fresh. The Bachelor of Science in Business Administration offers a general pathway or specialization in human resource management. It's built for global learners with a performance-based admissions model and a flexible paid per module fee structure. Tuition ranges from £14,076 to £18,732, depending on your geographic location. Next is the Bachelor of Science in Marketing, which delves into strategy, consumer behavior, digital marketing, and analytics. It's also 100% online with the same admissions flexibility and tuition structure, making either of these a strong choice for career-focused learners interested in business. If technology is more your lane, Coursera offers two standout online computer science degrees. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from the University of London is taught by the faculty from Goldsmiths and features a specialization in machine learning and AI. You'll even complete a hands-on AI project that tackles a real-world challenge. Tuition ranges from £13,276 to £19,767, depending on where you're located. Then there's a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from BITS Pilani, a program designed for accessibility. It's fully online, requires no in-person attendance or prior background in math or science, and includes 30 courses in 2 major projects. If you want to learn more about these online bachelor degree programs, click the link in the chat.
You got it.
Woohoo! Before we wrap up today's session, I want to take a moment to highlight a great opportunity, especially for those of you who are excited about computer science, but might not be quite ready to jump straight into the bachelor's degree. The University of London offers an international foundation program in computer science that's 100% online and designed with beginners in mind. You don't need any previous academic background in the subject to get started. The program covers essential subjects like mathematics, statistics, academic writing, and Python programming. You'll also gain hands-on experience with tools like Tableau, setting you up for a solid foundation for future study. And here's the really exciting part. Once you complete the program successfully, you'll automatically qualify for admission to the University of London's fully online Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, also available on Coursera. These programs show just how many flexible, high-quality bachelor's degrees are now available online, whether you're completing a degree or starting a new one. That said, I just want to thank all of our panelists and attendees once again for your time today. We wish you the best of luck on your learning journey. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as one final reminder, all attendees will be receiving links to book a meeting with our enrollment team. Thanks again and have a great rest of your day.